Thanks for having me today. Like you said, I'm going to talk about Nude. We are a fintech savings app in the UK only. And we grew from pretty much nothing. I put 0 just to have a catchy title, but it wasn't that much, to 300,000 plus users in the space of 12 months, which was quite a ride. So I'll tell you a little bit of that story this morning. But before, I've got a very important question that's been haunting me since this morning that my son asked me, which is, why are bananas curved? And I don't know. Is anyone in the room, do you know why are they curved? No, you're like me, so I don't know. No one knows. It's a great question. I was a bit like, I couldn't think about this morning because I kept thinking about that question. So anyway, let's move on. So like I said, we're Nude. More specifically, we are an app for first-time home buyers. So we help people save for their deposit, which is a big task, and even more in 2022 and 2023. So it's a big challenge, but I think we're doing our best to help people and to help especially young people to afford their first flat or their first home in the UK. I'm the CMO, by the way. I didn't introduce myself, but I've been with the company for almost 2 years. I actually was there last year in a panel, so I stepped up. Now I'm by myself, so it's a bit scary. Anyway, this is the proof. I don't have that many graphs, but I thought I would put one of our growth and when I joined. I thought it was funny. But we basically had a few months phase around the time when I joined where we were focusing on product market fit, trying to get the right signals in terms of acquisition, but also retention. Are we solving the problem? Do we have the right features? And as soon as we found the good mix, we started doing the things that I'm going to tell you right after. So quite a journey. Something that I posted, this is something that I posted on LinkedIn not so long ago that I didn't realize was the case. And I took these numbers straight from Tom Bloomfield, so they're legit. I think there might be some Monzo people in the room. Hey, a whole table! That's great. But it felt a bit weird to see those numbers and realize that that's what we are doing. Obviously, different years, different time, different period in the history of fintech and different products. But yeah, I thought it was quite cool to highlight. And yeah, I do love you guys. You're no competition, so that's cool. Talked about that already. One thing that I wanted to make sure I say is that we didn't just grow our user base without at our cost. We actually reduced our payback period by quite a significant amount. So I talked about product market fit. We still had a quite expensive acquisition cost at that time. So we did all this by reducing it to around 6 months nowadays. So it was thought about. This is one of my favorite films. I just put it because I like that scene, and I always remind myself when I see something in an industry that I think we can shake. I always remember that scene, and it makes me smile.
What is that?
What?
What's that smell?
A cologne?
No.
Opportunity.
No. Money.
Oh, okay.
I smell money.
Okay.
It's money. So lesson number 1, when you start, especially in the fintech space, especially in the savings, personal finance space, you need to make sure you show up in the right places when people are looking for a solution. And for us, There's not that many places. But if some of you might know Martin Lewis and Money Saving Experts website. That page that I mentioned on that slide is probably like the most trafficked page on Lifetime ISA, which is the account that we offer, by the way, for first-time buyers. Is the most trafficked page in the UK with 35,000 visits a month. It's not that much, but it's very qualitative because everyone who's looking for that solution is going to go on that page, and we were not on that page. And the reason for that is that at the time, it was before the Bank of England raising interest rates, and I think everyone in the space of first-time home buyers and Lifetime ISA accounts at a pretty low interest rate. And looking at that page, we realized that it was classified mostly by interest rate, not necessarily by the quality of the app or the features that you propose. Do you actually make people save more money by being useful? It was only showing a table with the interest rate that you propose to these people, and it was like 0.5% at the time, or something like very, very low. And I should say the Lifetime ISA is interesting because it gives you 25% from the government, so you can make up to £1,000 every year. If you help someone to save up to 4,000, they can get 1,000 for free. So that's where the opportunity is, not really in the 0.5% interest rate that you give on top. So we saw that, and we decided when interest rates started to rise to follow very efficiently the rise of that interest rate. So we jumped from being nobody to suddenly having the best interest rate in the Lifetime ISA providers, and we started to show up, because that page on Money Saving Expert is not sponsored. It's supposed to be legit, giving the best advice to people, right? And we did that every time over the last, I think, the first 3 times that the Bank of England raised the interest. We followed them on the day, on the hour. We tweaked our operation within the team to make sure that we could switch everything in the app, on the website, everywhere we communicate, emails, etc., to be the best rate on that day, on that hour when they do the announcement. And that gave us a kickstart. We showed up in the right place where people were looking for a solution. We suddenly were on that table. We suddenly were the top pick. And we got traction that way, a first bit of traction. It also gave us a lot of transfer because there's a lot of existing people saving, and those people came to us. So that's number one. Number two, we switched our mindset when it comes to features, viral features within the app. So a bit before my time, the focus was really on shareability. And I thought straight away it was a bit weird because, first of all, savings is a very personal thing. What would you share? How much you saved on your Instagram stories? I mean, no one was really doing it, and we saw it in the stats. So we switched that mindset. We thought about what is word of mouth these days. And word of mouth these days is not really like a group of friends or around a table, just discussing about the best app that they're using right now. It's happening on your phone. It's happening on WhatsApp, iMessage, Messenger, whatever you use. In the UK, it will be like a lot of WhatsApp. So we try to think about what can we do to actually incentivize people to share links as opposed to trying to share a photo or a nice display of the countdown to when they're going to buy a home. No one really wants to share that either. So it was kind of a lost cause. So as a result, we launched our first features, which was called Team Up. And Team Up came from one of the stats that we read that you can find everywhere. Most people buy with someone else. About 80% of people buy with a partner. So we allowed a customer to share a link that would then transform the app as like a two-player mode. So suddenly you see your savings together. You still have a separate Lifetime ISA for money management reason. Like no one really wants to have a saved account, especially if you're doing it with a friend. Like it doesn't have to be like a relationship, like a romantic one. But that was the first thing. So the app became 2-player mode. You can see the time to goal together. You can see what you're gonna buy. You can start projecting yourself. There's like quite a nice sentiment behind that thinking. And potentially every customer we get gives us another customer, which is great for our K factor and virality. The second thing that we did was thinking about the outskirt of that circle of that node of 1 or 2 people, and it's your family, the bank of mom and dad and your friends. So we quickly thought about a feature that we call gift time, because our app, if you haven't tried it, you should if you're saving for your first one. It's the best. You can share a link to your grandparents, your parents, your friends. They don't really have to, they don't have to download the app. It's all within web pages and all integrated with APIs. And they can contribute to your time to go, to your deposit, and they will see live the reduced time that they give you. So it's not only the monetary amount. The beauty of this is like they can see that I'm contributed towards 6 months towards your goal, which is, again, a nice feeling. There's a nice sentiment behind that. And then lastly, we brought a referral program. And the referral program for us was also slightly different from what we saw out there, especially from trading apps and things like that. Like we didn't really want to do a give-get mechanism, because when you're trying to save £20,000, you don't really want to get 10 quid. Like it doesn't really add to anything. Even £50 is quite it's quite small. So we thought about giveaways in app, and that's what we did. So we launched a lottery in app where you get entries. If you refer friends, you've got more chance to win £1,000. And £1,000 is significant enough for someone to do something, because it would save you a year, 6 months, whatever the amount you need to save. So those were the 3 things. Speeding up because I actually spoke a lot. Number 3, when it comes to paid, we took an influencer-first approach, especially on TikTok. So we're small. We've got a small team. It's literally 3 of us, plus some external people. But we started to go all in on influencers. We didn't have a big budget, but we saw that even with a couple of hundred quid to a nano micro influencer on TikTok, we could still go viral, because it doesn't really matter how many followers you got. That's the big difference with the way the algorithm is working on TikTok versus Instagram. So we went all in with micro-influencers, and we saw very quickly, actually, I think in the first 5 that we tried, one of them, I think, was paid £250 or something like that. Within 24 hours, we got 1.5 million views on that video. The business on that day 10x'd, and then continued. And then we used Spark ads, and then we used that ad for like 4 months. At the end of that, the video got like 15 million views. I think he had 10,000 comments. And it was because it was really native to TikTok. Obviously, it didn't look like an ad. She was doing a tour of a house she just bought, dangling the keys, etc. So people really resonated with that. And then there was a lot of chatter. I think there's a lot of discussion between Gen Zs, millennial, boomers, in it was easier for you, now it's easier for you. There's a lot of discussion going around that. And I think we managed to surf on that trend quite well. And we continue to do that, continue to find some great videos, some great influencers that kept going back, kept momentum, basically. Number 4, before the product even launched, we launched a newsletter, which is interview-based. One of you maybe could be on it. It's open to anyone. There's no restriction. But we interview someone every 2 weeks. We've done it for, I think, 100 times now. So it's been quite a while. And we grew an audience that way. And it goes along the lines of, marketing team these days should be like a media team, or like working like on the media side and the content side. We really went all in on that. It's called Adultish. You can go on the website. It's actually the URL adulty.sh. We've got almost 300,000 subscribers to it, which works also as a drip feed into Nude because it's by Nude. And we get about 100,000 open every other week. So the goal with that is that we obviously really want to grow this. It's a low acquisition cost. We're not really doing paid. It's all organic, and people referring it with their friends and stuff because it's very organic, it's very natural, and the content, I think, is great. It's more like editorial. And we don't talk about Nude. We talk about becoming an adult. So we go slightly outside of what we do. So it could be money, but it could also be relationships and career. How to get your shit together. That's the tagline. So that helped us, definitely. And then lastly, we used more giveaways because we saw they were working very well in the app. We thought, how can we go a little bit outside of people discovering the app and downloading the app? So we did a few of these giveaways. I think the website still works, so you can go giveaway.getnude.com. We did like some funky type of landing page where the cursor just drops emojis as you move the mouse, which is quite fun. I played with that for 10 minutes. The first time we did it, but that was great. We had referral mechanisms within that landing page. It allowed us to grow everything. So we converted people into customers because that was one of the entries. But we also converted people into following us on Instagram, following us on LinkedIn, following us everywhere. Basically, you just ask people to do actions, and they would do 15 actions if you give them 15 actions. And we did that 2 times, both times £10,000. It was profitable. We had great CAC on those giveaways. Way more than 10,000 email addresses, followers everywhere, and then customers starting to stay with us. So that's definitely a tactic that we're going to start using, we're going to continue using, even though it's been copied a lot since we started to do it in the fintech world, but that's fine. That's flattering. So that's number 5. I think I'm done. Yeah, that's me. Add me on LinkedIn if you want to stay in touch and ask me questions or want to discuss about growth and apps. I'm always open. So yeah, have a good day. Thank you.